This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstein Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 7, Episode 9, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington. And I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington life and sports as part of the Mighty Hogstein Network on audio and here on YouTube on video. All right, Matt, two big things happened this weekend. The Washington Commanders won their opener, and my new book came out. Yay! I haven't sent you one yet, but, it's available for purchase.
I was going to say, that's my copy right there, right?
Yeah, I've already signed it for you. So if you would like this, it's the 100 Things Commanders fans should know and do before they die. Order it before you die and pay me before you die. That's how this works. Either way works. And it's like the old book of 8 years ago. But basically the publisher said, okay, 5 new chapters replace 5 old chapters. So if you have the old book, there's some new stuff in it. It's updated, revised, all that stuff. And most of you didn't buy it. Thanks for that. And, so you can make amends now and buy it. Well, on my website is the best place. You could give your money to Jeff Bezos, but why do that? So, except his rocket kind of blew up. So I guess he needs the money today. But go to monumentalthoughts.com and you can buy it direct and I'll sign it. Matt knows how important it is when you sign a book.
He's going to put best wishes in it.
Well, no, I changed it this time. I put HTTC because we're not doing R. And, although when I was at the game yesterday, fans kept yelling, let's go Redskins. So pretty good opening day for them. I mean, they managed to win when they could have lost easily. Jacksonville left a lot of points out there. They had 58,000 announced. I'd say it was in the ballpark. Very few Jags fans. So that meant 50-some thousand, Commanders fans showed up. And beautiful day. Didn't rain on them like it was supposed to. Carson Wentz threw 4 touchdowns and 2 picks. There's a lot of everything. But overall, I kind of talked about they were expected to win this game, and yet you felt better that they did about their chances.
Yeah, it was funny because, at the beginning of the game, they came out firing on all cylinders. They had the 2 touchdowns. Wentz looked really good. He was hitting wide receivers. He wasn't just doing dump offs. And then you get to the third quarter, and it's like they forgot how to play, and he started making mistakes and doing these little short dump offs. I don't know what Turner was thinking. Just stick with the game plan. They were moving the ball down the field. They had no problem hitting. They made it a point of emphasis to get Curtis Samuel very involved in the beginning, and then it moved over to Terry, and then it went to Jahan. Like, he spread the ball around very well. Logan Thomas was elevated, but he wasn't a big factor. I know he had one big catch for a big gain. Antonio Gibson flashed out of the backfield as a receiving threat. Like, they were firing on all cylinders. And then, like I said, the third quarter rolls around, he throws those back-to-back picks, and you're just like, what the hell is going on with this team? Rivera teams, they just come out so flat in the third quarter from the half. It's like we've talked about, they don't make halftime adjustments when the other team does. But in the end, look, the Jahan Dotson pick worked out for him yesterday. Guy had 2 touchdowns in his first game, and both catches were impressive, but that one to win the game was pretty damn impressive. And they showed why they picked him because of the hands. I know the other top receivers like London and Olave and all those guys, I don't think any of them scored. So Jahan got his 2. It was just a good day, and look, it's what we're going to get with Carson Wentz. We know that this is going to be a roller coaster ride all season. You're going to have the highest of highs and possibly the lowest of lows with him. But, for his first game in a Commander's uniform that actually meant something, he looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, overall, I didn't give him a good grade because, to me, two interceptions for 14 points is a bad thing.
I'll say this, though. That second pick, that was a hell of a play by a number 1 overall pick. That was not many people are going to make that play. And that kid Walker, he showed yesterday why he was the number 1 overall pick. Good
play for him. Carson admits today should have threw the ball on the ground and not tested that play. But, yeah, that guy did make a great play.
And also, the line had blown that up. They sniffed the screen out from this time the ball was hiked. Yeah, that was a ball that Carson probably should have thrown away, but it was just a tremendous play by the defensive player. And that's something we got to remember too, Rick, is the defensive guys get paid too. It's not just the offensive show. The defensive guys do get paid, and Jacksonville's defense certainly showed up when they needed to. Just not good enough, I guess.
What about special teams guys? They play for free.
No, they get paid too. Well, barely. They barely get paid because they're a lot of, third and fourth on the depth charts.
Yeah, well, they did okay. I mean, I like Dax Milne was the returner, did a decent job. Joey Sly didn't screw it up. How many times did Tress Wade punt? Like once?
Yeah, it wasn't very much.
It was, oh, wow, he punted three times. Okay, I didn't realize that. It was an interesting day. I mean, you didn't even see Miami Brown. He's way down that list now. And somebody asked me today, what are they going to call the receivers? It's going to be the three amigos, No, man, it's too early. They only played one game together. Just let it breathe.
Mhm.
Let it breathe for a while. But you got everything you hoped for out of these three. And Logan Thomas came back and looked decent, even if he was rusty. You got a running game that produced without having your running back there. I thought that was really creative. That was one of the better impressive parts of how did they use Gibson in space, but you can't abandon the running game completely.
Mhm.
And they did okay with that. And the offensive line, I don't know, they danced with the devil a lot, but they managed to survive. I'll give it that. So overall, the offense was fine. Defense, I mean, one of the bummers was third snap, they lose Fedarian Mathis for the year.
Yep.
But, wow. I'd feel bad for guys that you spend all your life to get here and you're here for a second. And then now, you hope he's okay for next year, but you never really know. I mean, man, it's just cruel.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't heal up in time, do you throw a bag of money at Deron Payne? Because we saw yesterday, Allen went out, Payne was the only constant, and he looked like a guy in a contract year. He was disruptive when he needed to be. He was attacking the quarterback. Mathis was slated to be his replacement. But depending on his recovery time, maybe you do have to sign a Payne. I know I don't know what it is with this team, Rick. They nurse and nurse and nurse in the preseason. In game one, they came out and had 3 or 4 big injuries. I mean, Cam Curl hurts his hand right before camp breaks. You got Mathis out for the season. Who else? Like I said, Allen went out for a little bit. Schweitzer got banged up. They had some depth that came in with Hill and Wise, and those guys played pretty well. I know Wise blew up the backfield a couple times, which was nice to see from a depth player. But right now the only constant is Deron Payne, on that defensive line. And as much as we talked about it before, in the preseason, the linebackers didn't look half bad. I'll give Jamin Davis a little bit of a break because he's expected to cover a guy like Christian Kirk, and that's not going to happen. But they did play decent, I would say. But there were some bright spots. I'm not going to focus too much on the negativity. You saw there. Was it Dark Forest or Derek Forest? I don't know how you pronounce it. I know he spells it with an A. He blew up somebody. That was cool to hear from the stadium too. You could tell there were 50-some thousand Redskins, Commanders, Washington football team fans in attendance when he blew up that running back for the fumble.
I think that's my new nickname, Dark Forest.
Dark Forest.
It's dangerous to go into the Dark Forest. I'm telling you, this kid knocked the snot out of people a couple of times, and I really didn't see him do much during the preseason and camps. But man, he wrote when those lights came on, he was there for them, and I was impressed with him. So yeah, the best play that Jamin Davis made was negated by a penalty.
I know.
He hit somebody really well on one play, so it was kind of a mixed bag of things. But they came away with the win. That's all that really matters. Good, almost like an RFK atmosphere of all home fans, pretty much. They won the game, came back late, did it. The crowd stayed to the very end because you didn't know what was going to happen. There's a couple of little things I would have said, and I think Del Rio was caught flat-footed again. He can't make adjustments. They figured him out, and for a while they just did what they wanted. Trevor Lawrence did not play as well as I thought he would, and he left 2 touchdowns out there. They'd have won if he had hit some simple throws.
Yep.
Doing that. So overall, the Commanders are now 1-0 in their history.
Yeah.
Yeah, never known defeat.
And guess what, Ed? The first Commanders touchdown will be a trivia question, which it was Curtis Samuel.
Right. Yeah, Curtis Samuel. And the thing with Curtis Samuel, I thought it was almost like Rivera trying to make a point.
That's exactly what it was. The game plan was to get him the ball, to say, hey, look, we paid this guy all this money. He didn't play last year, but he was damn worth every penny. And that's what they tried to force on us.
Yeah, I thought he was basically saying, I told you he was good. And I had to look crap for a year. And now we're, look at it now, five passes in the first quarter. And I literally said late in the game, man, where's Terry McLaurin? Why aren't they looking at him? Next play, boom, goes down the field, hits them. Because I was like, you paid him all this money. Where is he? I know you got a lot of receivers, but he's still your money guy. But I think they wanted to prove it with Samuel, what they were doing there. And Dotson, they hid the whole preseason, never really showed him, barely threw to him. But I knew that they had something up their sleeve with him.
And I'll tell you what, I got nervous when he dropped that first pass. I was like, this is the guy. All we've been hearing about is his hands. And then he goes out and he drops the first pass, and you're like, well, where are these hands that we've been hearing about? And then they sure as heck showed up. That draft pick, not just necessarily the draft pick itself, but what came on the back end with Brian Robinson, Sam Howell, Cole Turner, like those guys, that's going to make that whole draft, that whole trade is so much sweeter. Because as you and I have talked about, we do expect Hal to probably be a starter on this team at some point. You've said this year. I said next year. Brian Robertson is slated to be your starting running back had he not got shot. And Cole Turner, they really like. We haven't seen him yet, and hopefully we'll get to see him in Detroit. But, that's going to turn out to probably be a really good deal because, like I said, Olave, I think he only had 40-some yards yesterday for the Saints. That's going to turn out to be a really good one for the Martys and Ron. I do want to get your thoughts. Does Del Rio make it the whole season?
If they win enough, I think he will. But in our final minute, I did want to talk about something else Washington fans love, which is Dallas. And not only did Dallas lose and look bad, but they lost their quarterback for half the season. So now you think maybe Dallas isn't going to be there. They play Washington in 3 weeks with a quarterback that's had a cup of coffee for 5 seasons with them and sitting on the bench. So, I think they're doomed. And maybe Philly's the guy that's going to win the division. So that's a bigger game in 2 weeks when they play Philly, then they play Dallas. It's funny how things change really quickly in the NFL.
Who always said that you break the season down into quarters? Well, guess what? The first quarter, you got a chance to be 3-1.
Yeah, that'd be something. All right, we're out of here. I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
Buy the book, and we'll see you Thursday.
Hey, that's my copy.
Oh, buy another book.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent on the Hogstye Network.